You will have seen headlines, "The rich get richer." It may even have triggered you a bit, has it? Now in this video, I'm going to argue that the rich can't actually help it, because there are three dynamics at play that once they are in motion, they're pretty hard to stop. And once you know those dynamics that make the rich richer, you can use them for yourself. And then you will keep getting richer and can't help it. If that sounds good, keep watching. I'm Sophia. On this channel, we explore the strategies on how to build wealth without living frugal. And I came across a video. It was from Brian Tracy, who is a self-development guru, if I may say so. And he said,
"The first million is hard, but the second million is inevitable."
And I kept thinking about that phrase, and I think dynamic number one is we cannot unlearn the rules of money. Now, the context that Brian Tracy was using this was that in order to become a millionaire, you have to become a completely different person compared to when you were not a millionaire. And what he means by this is that you have to learn all kinds of different skills. Managing money, investing money, making money. And once you know all that, you can't really go back. Now, don't get me wrong, we can unlearn things. In a way, we even have to. If we want to learn how to chop vegetables in a better way, we have to unlearn the old way. If we want to learn how to save and invest, we have to unlearn to spend 100% of our income. But once we know these rules of money or skills of money, there will be no reason for us to go back. Me personally, now that I have found the perfect strategies for me to grow my wealth and live my life at the same time, I will not go back. I will not go back to not investing my money. I might switch investments, yes, or switch the proportion of the investments, yes, but not in the way that I sell all of my investments and then I buy something from that money. Because the sense of security and the sense of freedom that my wealth has given me is just so valuable. Do you know what I mean? And the same goes for rich people. Using their knowledge to their advantage, it becomes their new normal. And once you start learning all of this, it will become a normal for you too. It's about skills. It's also about mindset. By the way, if you want to learn my strategies, packed into 30 minutes, how I build wealth without living frugal, you can join my live Financial Freedom web class. It's free. There's a link down below. Now, this first dynamic we were talking about is kind of an internal one, right? So it's about skills and it's about mindset. Now, the next one I would say is rather an external one. And dynamic number two is it's easier to sustain wealth than it is to build it. And I would say this is mainly because of compound interest. I go more into detail about compound interest in other videos, but just real quick, there are three main factors that contribute to compound interest. And those are time, interest rate, and the principal. And when we ignore time and the interest rate for a moment and we just look at the principal, then a small principal means small growth. And that's why I said it's harder to build wealth in the beginning. When you start at zero, it takes about 7 years to get to the first $100,000. But after that, once you have the $100,000 invested, the next $100,000 only takes 5 years. And after that, it gets even less and less and less. So small principal, small growth, but big principal, big growth. It's a snowball effect, right? In the beginning, when you start, even when you double, then it still seems small. But the bigger it gets, the faster it gets and the harder it is to stop. And that is also why often the richest families are the richest families for generations. Because the snowball has gotten so big that you don't need the effort to grow it. Now you just need the effort to maintain it. So one effect is this numbers game of compound interest. And I think there's another effect too when it comes to rich families and the generational wealth. And that is the educational effect. Because when the parents learn the skills from dynamic one, in most cases, they will pass it on to their children. And besides that, there is an economic reason too. Because when people keep their money in cash and purely in cash, then they have full exposure to inflation. That is where the second part of the often used sentence comes in. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer. And when inflation increases, the value of assets goes up, or at least tends to go up. By assets, I don't mean cash, but I mean stocks, bonds, real estate, and other investments. Now, this is a general rule of thumb, so this doesn't work like clockwork. Markets are too complex for that, but in a grand scheme, this is how it works. And then the people who only have cash or live paycheck to paycheck, they suffer more from inflation when it comes to net worth. And dynamic number 3 is better opportunities. As you keep building wealth, there are doors that open that do not open to anyone. And this may be as simple as a better credit score. If the bank sees, wow, this person has a very solid financial foundation, then they think, okay, we don't have to worry about getting our money back. And what that means for you is a lower interest rate. And then you can grow your wealth even further from what you're saving on this interest rate. And then the opposite applies for the people who do not have a solid financial foundation. And another form of better opportunities is access. It's access to locations with other rich people. Now this does sound a bit weird, but when you think about it, it's pretty natural. When you learn skills, you automatically meet other people who learn those skills too, right? It can be school, it can be university, it can be online courses. That is one thing. And then also, as your wealth grows, your lifestyle might change a bit. You dine in different restaurants, you sleep in different hotels. And there again are other types of people hanging around. And maybe you never meet them, but maybe you do. And then this creates opportunities. This can be job opportunities. It can be investment opportunities. And that is also something that you don't really go back from, right? So it kind of becomes a new normal. Those were the 3 dynamics. I hope you got some inspiration to kickstart your own wealth building journey. And if you want to dive deeper into the topic of why the first 100,000 is so important, I'll link a video for you here. And now thank you for watching. I wish you success and till next time.